So what's up you guys, I'm an NBA fan quiz. Before we get on to today's video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now saying all of that, let's get on to today's video. So just a few hours ago, the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis himself, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, one-time Defensive Player of the Year, the 2017 Most Improved Player of the Year, announced that they've come to a Supermax extension. This shakes up the 2021 NBA free agency that everyone's been waiting for, because Giannis is the cherry on the icing on the cake on how how loaded the 2021 free agency is. Now the effective terms are of this deal. I'm reading it out here. It says that according to Brew Hoop, the Milwaukee Bucks SB Nation website. So I hope you're seeing me right now. Giannis's new contract is worth 227.36 million, will kick in ahead of the 2021-22 NBA season. With a starting salary of 39.2 million, it increases annually 8%, all maximum amount of 8% to whopping 57.1 million in the final year. That's worth 40% in the salary cap. Now, this really shakes up the now let's come under the Bucks perspective, and then we'll move on to the opposing team's perspective, those who have been loading up or been shoring up cap space for this. See, this doesn't mean that he can't be traded, but now that the extension kicks in, the possibility of him, now he won't be a free agent because the extension kicks in at 2021-22. So now saying that, let's get on to the Bucks perspective. So as you know, Milwaukee is a very small market, and small markets don't generally get stars. So now that they've got and locked Giannis up for the 5 years for 227.36 million, as I told you earlier in the video just a few seconds ago, this shakes up the structure of the NBA. Those who have been shoring up cap space now probably have to look at other avenues to improve their team. Giannis is staying in Milwaukee for the foreseeable future. So that's pretty great. See, this is pretty great. For me, I've always wanted league parity, and sometimes, even though good organizations are there, mostly sometimes they're being placed in big markets. And even though I'm a Heat fan, I'm pretty happy if Giannis wants to stay there, because I love when these kind of guys win titles in small market teams. It just means it impacts the legacy and how people think of them. It impacts the player, the organization, the fans, where he'll be loved. Because if Giannis, as much as people count out the Bucks, if let's just say hypothetically, if he wins it this year, what will this do for the Bucks? Let me tell you, he might just cement himself as the second best Buck of all time, maybe the best, maybe not, but just saying, from the bringing the city of Milwaukee a title, you might be one of the most loved athletes there, and that's not so easy to get in a small market, because you can be good and everything, but once you leave them high and dry, mostly small market teams might hate you, because you are probably their only hope to relevance and maybe contention. And them getting Giannis locked up for the foreseeable future, I love it, man. I just love it. This just shows that the parity of the league still exists, and big market players, the superstars in the league, just don't hurry off to big market teams. I want to see who's the next Dirk Nowitzki. I want to see who's the next Tim Duncan. Even though Tim Duncan had a lot of help in Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, I want to see small market teams succeed. And even though I say I'm a Heat fan, I just want to see these players succeed, and then the fans loving them, and then being viewed positively in the eyes of the fans and as part of basketball fans in general. So I like this for Giannis, I like this for the Bucks, and as for Brew Hoop, they're all loving it. Because think about this. The whole talk about the season, if Giannis wasn't going to sign the extension, would be We'll coast the regular season, but they're gonna worry about the playoffs because that's the make or break of whether they go let Giannis go. But now let's see. Now you're gonna have more fun because you won't have to think about Giannis is gonna leave, go to Dallas, go to Miami, go to Toronto, go to Golden State, and yada yada yada. You just hear that. It just spoils the nature of seeing a good team and one being known as a title contender among others because they have Giannis. See, now that I come across from the Bucks perspective, you lock up Giannis, the fans love it, Giannis loves it, and the players won't have to think about Giannis leaving every single time they make a mistake. So I like this move for them, man. And people don't really come to small market teams. So for them to keep Giannis was a really good thing. And I'm really happy for all of your Buck fans out there who have been supporting this team even during times when y'all weren't up there. Now that y'all have Giannis, that should be a pretty good feeling. And as I'm telling y'all. So them getting there will not make it feel like it's one chance for after that years of irrelevancy for getting all trade packages floating around. No. And no more like getting this guy out of town for a superstar. Now at least now you're gonna have more fun as is. Because the talk about these extensions and Giannis leaving, that part is gone. So now that I've talked about the Bucks' perspective of everything, it'll be fine. It'll be fun for now. Things will be more free flowing than last year because teammates gonna be burdened if Giannis ain't gonna leave. The fans will chime in. The Bucks, they feel like they've been faulted. So now let's come in from the Leeds perspective. The Dallas Mavericks, Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors, Golden State Warriors are the four teams that have been trying to chase for Giannis. And as though the Golden State Warriors don't have space, they do have that the Minnesota pick, 2021 pick. So that's pretty exciting, maybe in terms of what value it presents now. The Golden State Warriors have a lot of spacing. So having another guy who can dominate the interior and he can be held by its spacing is pretty exciting to think about. Think about you would have thought about how Giannis would just drive into the rim, or if not, he can kick it out to Steph Curry or Klay Thompson if he might not have been traded, if this possibility ever happened. So now you think about it, now that is gone. What else is gone? Maybe a possibility, Miami. I like Giannis, but I didn't see the fit because having three non-shooters on the court, teams is gonna sag off of you and go, and just go hard man-to-man defense on the shooters. So I never really got this fit, and I do think that even though you can figure it out, everything's there, the spacing would be pretty bad because Jimmy Butler just had a wrist surgery. He shot not that good last year. Bam Adebayo, he's more interior oriented, so having space around them helps. And giving up your shooters, Giannis will be in the same situation as he did in Milwaukee. But rumors were floating around, so I don't know if I ever really wanted Giannis. But I was really honest. I'm being really honest with y'all. I never saw the fit. But maybe that those are the presumptive landing spots there. But in terms of what other people say, let me give y'all a view of not my opinion. So you had a finals roster coming out, and the talk of the Heat was how they didn't have size, they were pretty small. So having a guy like Giannis who can guard Anthony Davis and having the defense would be like really insane. But the offense is what scared me. So offense scared me a little bit to say I didn't want this thing to happen because the spacing would be bad and Milwaukee would want Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson or maybe even Goran Dragic. Basically taking the team, basically taking Miami's best shooters. So I didn't feel pretty good about that possibility. Toronto, you can see on the other hand the connections between Masai Ujiri and Giannis. He helped bring Giannis to the States, and he was really responsible for Giannis being. No, I was wrong. I didn't mean United States. I wanted to say this. I meant that he helped his parents and him get Greek citizenship while leaving one of the older brothers behind Nigeria. So this is the consequence of what happened. So you do know Masai really helped with Giannis being in the state that he is. You could see, and Toronto also has a really diverse city. The Raptors are one of the best organizational structures in the NBA. They had Pascal Siakam, who he didn't play well, but he's getting adjusted. Fred VanVleet, who he just signed, he's a really good guard. He's a 6'1 guard. He can shot create. He can pull up. He is relentless. He's a pest on D. OG Anunoby, one of the better wing defenders in the NBA. He can operate as a small ball five, as he saw against Boston. So adding Giannis to that roster and having Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's just flat out dogness, man. He gives it out all on the court, and he really helped the Raptors stay afloat in the series. Unfortunately, they got eliminated by Boston in 7. So adding Giannis to that, and plus Toronto had one of the better, a more diversified cities, and they also had a large number of Nigerians and Greeks in that city. You could see where I'm coming from. So you could see the link to that city. But now that this possibility might also go down, finally I'm gonna come to Dallas. Now you know why Dallas was mentioned, right? The 5-out spacing was the one of the reasons why their offense was really effective this season, or the most efficient offense in NBA history. And the thing about Giannis that Max Kellerman pointed out after the Bucks got eliminated is like this. Giannis, Kobe needed Shaq, so he compared Giannis to Kobe. Giannis to Shaq. He says that both of their games are similar. They're more poor. They rely on the interior, but they need someone who can make big shots in the clutch from the perimeter. So Luka Doncic might have that thing. Now Kristaps Porzingis, I don't know whether Bucks would have wanted him, because they would have certainly wanted a pretty good young player in return, and getting Porzingis really good. But you could see where I'm coming from as a Luka Doncic. He could help with being the so-called Kobe for Giannis' Shaq. So you could see where I'm coming from, right? Good running mates, a guy who can close games, a really good roster, really good role players. And the thing that Dallas struggled with last season is defense. Now that they've added Josh Richardson, along with really good defender Dorian Finney-Smith, who is really underrated by everyone in the common fan. He's a really good defender. But Giannis would have gone a long way in helping that defense go up. And now the defense only go up regardless of Giannis coming. But he would have taken it to better levels. But that's the similarities of how how these 4 teams impacted by Giannis signing with Milwaukee. So now all these 4 possibilities that could have been was probably gone out of the window. And what's there is the Milwaukee Bucks having Giannis and trying to go all out to win a championship in Milwaukee, give the fans a championship, try to maximize Giannis while he's on the roster, because you never know what could happen. So it's better to start making bold moves, trying to go all in, trying to get Giannis the best help. So let's see, this Drew Holiday, I like him. But the only reason that I don't maybe like them is because though Drew is there, my question is, who's gonna guard the other team's best wings or guards? Because I don't really know. Because you rely too heavily on Wes Matthews to guard them, and Drew, you need him to be the missing piece on offense, or Also tasking him to be guard guys like LeBron, guys like KD, or guys like a Kawhi Leonard. Just saying, in terms of where I'm coming from, wings 6'7", 6'8", 6'10", who Drew can try to guard. So one thing I don't mention is I think Milwaukee doesn't have the wings to defend the other team's best guys. And Drew Holiday, other than that, who's gonna do it? Now that's a potential flaw in Milwaukee's roster. I don't think I've ever seen anyone speak. What about the who's defending the wings outside of Drew Holiday? Because you might need some of them in the playoffs when guys like those are the prototypical archetypes of guys who close games. So I'm saying, but Milwaukee got Drew Holiday. I think he might be maybe the final piece to maybe the Milwaukee Bucks at least getting out of the East and into the finals and hosting a finals game in Milwaukee. So this might happen because last time they came close was in Game 7 in 2001 where they lost against the 76ers in Game 7 in Philadelphia in a series which was marked by controversy. So I'm just saying this. So Milwaukee, you're on the clock. I mean, when I'm on the clock, you're really on the clock because you don't know what's gonna happen if Giannis gonna want out. Because for now, everything's fine, but you do want to start hurrying up and try to win this thing as earlier as possible. Because windows always seem to prematurely open, but they may also seem to prematurely close. So that is pretty. And just saying, Milwaukee, you do need to improve your roster, but this team might be one of the two best teams in the East, along with the Nets, according to the public consensus. But we'll see how it goes in the playoffs because that might be a key factor. Because though Giannis might be locked for the foreseeable future, we'll see how that goes. I'll be giving my reactions, and from a year or a few months from now, we'll see how foolish or how right I was. Because I gave some pretty interesting information, or maybe the ones which you already know. But we'll see how foolish the consensus was, or how right we were about the Bucks in a few months from now, when the playoffs begin and when they end. The final takeaways. So that is pretty much the end of the video, guys. So I thank you guys for watching the video. Not miss a piece of daily NBA content. So I really appreciate you all for staying out at this 12 Eastern video. So I'll see y'all. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you like the content put out by me, please subscribe to the channel. Do not miss a piece of daily NBA content. And I will be seeing you guys in the next video.